Okay, right, so I need your help. I want to know about Starfield. I'm really excited. I've been like incredibly excited by all the reactions on the internet and the reveal and everything, but I've seen nothing about it because I missed the announcement because I was doing something. And now I want to learn about Starfield, and I need you guys to tell me where I can go and find information on Starfield. I think there's a 15-minute presentation. Holy shit, yes, count me in. What were you doing that is more important than Starfield? I don't know, like feeding my child or something, right? This is going to scratch that Mass Effect itch. I don't really want a Mass Effect, though. I want, like, Skyrim in space. Is that what it's going to be? Okay. Let's have a look. Salamander. I love a good quote. A good quote to start things off? Perfect. Especially from someone I've never heard of.
Starship Frontier. We're ready to start on your signal.
How's volume? Okay. I'm pausing it right there because I just want to say already my hopes are high simply because it's got a good old school Star Trek fucking horn playing. Star Trek established that space travel equals cool horn music. TNG and Deep Space Nine and Voyager established that the best exploring space music is like a vaguely patriotic sounding. Yeah, French horns equals space and exploration and celebrating the genius and ingenuity of man, right?
Maintaining exit vector course. Steady till ready. Coordinates input. Plotting jump course. Guidance has converged.
And that's something like all the other Star Trek series got very, very
reactor
well.
power.
Ah, yeah, here we go. Look, that music is banging.
Grav jump commencing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The music is selling me. It's the only thing that's selling me so far, but I'm so into it.
It's hard to express how excited all of us at Bethesda are to be here with you today.
Don't believe his lies. Don't believe his lies. Whatever fucking Todd says, believe the exact opposite. Him in his brown leather jacket of lies.
We're so grateful you're spending the time, and we know you've waited a long time to finally see Starfield. It's easily our most ambitious game ever. Like our previous games, it's an epic role-playing game where you get to be who you want and go where you want. But this time, you'll be exploring space. So let's jump right in.
Okay, now, I know lots of you know the answer to this, but all I can think of... at first, I was really caught up in all the horns and the cool space music, right? Now I've seen fucking Todd, which is fair enough, man. He owns the company, but still. Now I've seen fucking Todd, all I'm thinking is, how much live service bullshit is this game going to have? Tell me about all the live service bullshit, Todd. Because Todd has been butthurt for years now about GTA and how Skyrim and Oblivion never really capitalized on the live service thing, even though like Skyrim is one of the most played games like probably of all time. How much live service bullshit is going to be in this game? That's what's on my mind right now. Frankly, it's going to take a few more awesome horns to make me forget that. They have one live service game, that's a bit unfair. Yeah, and that is the only game they've like released since Todd has been like very publicly butthurt about how they have not capitalized on the live service potential for Fallout and Skyrim and Oblivion, right? You know, like Fallout 4 happened and he was like, in Skyrim, you know, we've got one of the most played games of all time. People play it all the time. And I look at games like GTA and they're making money like every day on a level that our game should be. And he's like proper butthurt about it, right? Which is literally why Fallout 76 exists. And I can't imagine personally that Fallout 76 was Bethesda getting that out of their system. Okay? I don't think you should look at Fallout 76 as being, okay, we've done that now. We've done the scummy live service now. We can go back to doing, like, our cool single-player shit. They're not going to do that. Fallout 76 is much more a sign of where Bethesda are heading, right? Because Tom's so fucking butthurt about it. That's what I feel. That's what I think. That's just the impression I get from him anyway.
This is early in the game as you arrive on the mysterious moon of Crete.
Well, I guess we'll find out. 10 years in the future. Gonyar, thank you very much for the sub, mate. 26 months, 3 years, and so many years. Thank you, thank you. What's that? I don't like it. I'm going to stop interrupting right now. So far, I am not fucking hooked on this aesthetic style. It's like incredibly uninspiring to me. I don't know. Look, it's only 5 seconds in, right? It's cool. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just saying.
According to the scanners, the abandoned research facility...
It's realistic space tech? No, it's not. No, it's fucking not.
is in this direction.
But it doesn't need to be realistic, it's fine. Yeah, it looks a bit generic right now. So we're having a little walk. Oh, he didn't kill the thing. Play a choice. Be the character you want to be. Paragon points. Banked. It looks very No Man's Sky right now. Okay, here we go. Baddie base, right?
It would appear that pirates of the Crimson Fleet are using the facility.
Let's get out the big fucking guns, dudes. Let's do it. No Man's Skyrim. Oh, that's beautiful. Who coined that? That's great.
No one's getting through.
Stealth. Be the character you want to be. Where's the aiming reticule? Is there some stat-based fucking auto aim going on here? What's happening? I love how you're just murdering these fucking pirates. You don't even know what they were doing. What did they ever do to you? I'm celebrating the genius and ingenuity of man, right? Let me give my reaction to that opening trailer. I've got to say, I'm underwhelmed. Maybe he's going to show me some really cool shit right now, but honestly, that looked generic and boring as fuck. Not just the combat. Just, like, everything about this was really uninspiring. Like, this is just grey. The design of the spaceship, I couldn't draw you what the spaceship looks like right now without looking at it. Fucking robot was like, yeah, fine, whatever. It looks like No Man's Sky, but through a filter of boringness. So far, and look, I really want to like this game, okay? I am in a position where I'm gonna cut this game a lot of fucking slack. But for me, the UI looks boring as fuck. Oh, the UI looks so boring. This planet that we're on right now looks incredibly boring. The No Man's Sky farming, fine, whatever. That was the most interesting thing about the entire gameplay bit for sure. Was this No Man's Sky farming. But look how boring it looks. I hate this like thin-lined circle, and I hate this circle in the corner here. I dislike it intensely. And then just the exciting bit where you're fighting pirates. Wasn't that exciting, really, honestly. It is a moon, to be fair. Oh yeah, sure, but it's also the thing they have chosen to show off at a games thing, right? In fairness, and like it's hardly Destiny level gunplay here, is it? Let's be real. I mean, like this gunplay genuinely looks kind of worse than Fallout 4 so far, right? And I am willing it to get better, right? I'm absolutely willing it to get better. This bit is outrageous. That little cut between kind of jumping up and it going back to first person is very weird. Shouldn't the camera kind of follow that? Like, am I the only one that finds that incredibly jarring? The way the camera works there? To be fair, the trailer has like 15 frames per second. Okay. I think that was 2 takes. A literal jump cut, yeah. They totally missed the jump and had to cut it. It's possible. It wouldn't be a Bethesda game if you enjoyed it because of the combat, not despite. Well, okay, that's true, but I still think it's fair to like judge what we've been shown, right? 5 XP as well, stingy fucker. Okay, what have you got to tell me? What lies are you about to tell me, Todd?
Encounters, you're invited to join Constellation, who, in the future the game is set in, are the last group of space explorers. To meet them, you'll head to the capital city of New Atlantis.
Okay, here we go. Oh, look, this looks much better already. Okay, look. Much better. Wait, Jameson? Spaceships. Planet of Jemison? Okay, I thought it said Jameson at first, as in, like, the editor from the Daily Bugle. Now that would have been fucking brilliant. That would have been awesome. I'd have been so into that. This looks great. This looks like Star Trek. I like it very much. This looks great. I'm really into this. This is cool. Not that Star Trek. I hate these robot faces. I'm so bad. This looks nice. I'm sorry. 110 years ago, okay, it was 1810, right? It was 1812, sorry, 110 years ago. And look how different the world is now from 110 years ago, from 1810, 1812. Do we really think people are going to be doing shit on their watches? Oh, okay, 1910. You're right, of course. My maths is way off. 1912 was 110 years ago. I should always remember 1912. What are the 2 important things that happened in 1912? Like, what were the 2 important things that happened in 1912? Answer me. The Titanic and Swansea City Football Club was founded. How could you not remember? I don't know, man. I don't think people will be wearing fucking iWatches in 110 years' time, put it that way. I might be wrong. I'm never going to know. Particularly not Apple Watches that work as ID passes. Holy fuck. Asking for trouble, mate.
Welcome to Constellation. We have a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about is going to be a line that you hear like 1,000 times in your playthrough, isn't it? Like 1,000 times. Can I look at that face again? She's a bit boss-eyed, isn't she? But nice skin textures and stuff, and it'll look better in like 5 years' time when the game comes out, right? Or do we think that 2032 is like the release date? 2330 is like the release date, right? It's not when the game's set, it's like projected release date. It doesn't look like it's definitely not the same engine. It looks great. I couldn't tell you it's definitely not the same engine as fucking Fallout 4, right? I think it probably is. Oh, he says at the end of 2023. Awesome, sweet.
We have a lot to talk about. We're all here because we're committed to the biggest question of all.
I can't hear a fucking word she's saying.
What's out there? These artifacts could be everything we've been looking for. As to what they are, what they're building, you'll be part of solving that puzzle now.
That's the story? They really looked at Mass Effect Andromeda and went, yeah, there's a fucking banging story we can use. Okay, I like New Atlantis, apart from the name, which sucks. New Atlantis looks awesome. It looks very, very good. Traveling the universe, or the constellation, to get, like, artifacts from a lost but incredibly advanced civilization. Can we just not use the one story that all space games use? It's literally like the same story that every space game uses. It suggests that we can only play as humans as well, which sucks! Voidspark, it's still game brio. If you've stared at the engine as much as I have, you can pick up on the quirks. Oh, I don't know why you are all hating the game so much. No. I'm not hating the game. Like I say, I want to love this game, and I'm probably going to end up very, very excited about it. I'm just giving my live reaction to it. I haven't seen this before, so I'll give you my considered reaction afterwards. I'm just reacting to shit as it comes up on my screen right now.
So, you found something?
The new guy found it.
I still can't tell you what this game looks like. I still can't tell you this game's visual style. Does that make sense? Like, I've watched a good few minutes of them showing me what they've got right now, and I can't describe to you the visual style. And for me, that's a problem. I know lots of people don't care about that, but whatever, man.
You dug up the artifact, right?
Yeah,
that means you saw
this game is
the visions.
far in the future.
The artifact you found appears to be one of many, scattered across the galaxy.
That's cool.
If we can find more, we can unlock their secrets.
Beautiful, isn't it? The man who sold me this told me that it spoke to him.
Of course, the settled systems is full of groups with other priorities.
That's the Crimson Fleet!
Everybody get ready!
The fleet doesn't follow the rules. Agree to work for UCC staff. Together, we take down these cutthroat pirates.
We're not just here to shoot the bad guys. We're peacekeepers. We protect the people of the Free Star Collective.
When you sign up with the Crimson Fleet, no one quits. The only way out is death.
The path ahead may be dangerous, but we are not stopping.
Most Dusties don't even make it this far.
Because whatever lies at the end of this road will change humanity forever.
That gives you a look at the...
Cool. I mean, I'm not going to be as excited as everyone else about this. I'm really sorry. I wanted to so much. It looks more like Mass Effect than the things I like about Bethesda games, right? But I know that it's not going to do the Mass Effect stuff as well as it's not even going to try to do the Mass Effect stuff, right? There was no like Bethesda magic in there for me. It looked like Mass Effect, but except without the panache, really. It has dinosaurs in it, which is cool. I love dinosaurs, man. They're awesome. Yeah, it was definitely more Anthem than Fallout, for sure. And like the whole kind of lost, incredibly advanced alien civilization thing is so dull, so boring. Okay, he promises some stuff that I think is pretty ambitious. Okay, here we go.
Stories in Starfield. But ultimately, it's not our story. It's the story you create by who you are and the choices you make.
Really?
And that starts with character creation. It's our most flexible yet. You can customize all the elements of how you look. You'll pick a background.
Do you think that's why a lot of the armors look so generic? Is because they have to like fit on any kind of slider? I don't know. That's a good looking spacesuit right there. That looks better than anything in the trailer. I don't mind that.
Ground that gives you 3 starting skills.
Says here you spent some time as a diplomat. Having a way with words might prove useful.
There are optional traits, and these come with unique advantages and disadvantages. But
let's look at some of these, because traits are
having a way with words
something
might
that
prove useful.
Bethesda has not done very well in its last few games. And so this is interesting to me. Introvert, you really need your alone time. You have more endurance when adventuring alone, but less when adventuring with other human companions. Okay. Your parents are alive and well, and you can visit them at their home. But 10% of all the money you earn is deducted automatically and sent to them. You grew up on the mean streets of Neon. Fucking awesome place name. Awesome. You gain access to special dialogue options and better rewards from Sun missions on Neon. Crime bounty by other factions is greatly increased. So there are faction traits. Okay. You grew up as a member of the Enlightened. You gain a significant discount at the organization store, but lose access to Sanctum Universe store. And these aren't really traits. These are like faction alignments, right? You grew up as a member of the Sanctum Universe. You gain a significant discount at the church store. That'll come in handy for buying all the pews and Bibles, right? But lose access to the Enlightened store. Damn. You grew up worshipping the Great Serpent. Think I found my faction, dudes. Think I found my faction. Hell yeah. Grav jumping provides a temporary boost to health and endurance. Yeah, because I love the serpent, man. So when I grav jump, I get a boost to health and endurance because of the serpent. But health and endurance are lowered if you don't continue jumping regularly like an addiction. Fuck that. What? I'm just addicted to that serpent, dude. My love of the serpent has me addicted to going up and down and up and down. All praise the snake. Your body has become acclimated to space. Health and endurance are increased when in space, but decreased when on the surface. These are some boring ass fucking traits, man. Compare these to classic fucking Fallout traits. I don't know. What do people think of this? Am I being like incredibly... I think I'm being incredibly harsh, aren't I? Yeah, they're just reflections. You're absolutely right. They're reflections. Yeah, totally. You can do this, but you can't do the opposite of that. You can do this, but you can't do the opposite of it. I feel like compared to New Vegas or like early Fallout games, which, you know, this pays lip service to, right? These are very boring. And I feel like it doesn't make me incredibly hopeful for the RPG potential of this game. But I'm definitely doing the serpent. I'm definitely riding that serpent. You own a small house on a peaceful little moon. But it comes with a 50,000 credit mortgage with Gal Bank. Oh yeah, Gal Bank, man. That's a fun trait. Galaxy Bank? Yeah, but it just sounds like it's going to be a bunch of fucking girl bosses. You just go in, it's a bunch of fucking girl bosses reading Lean In and taking no shit. Yeah, I'd be very fucking happy with a 50k mortgage, my friend. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's the most interesting one so far.
But it's not just in how you can look, but in how your character plays and develops. The skill system combines the best.
Only a trained sniper truly understands all the elements necessary to patiently and effectively neutralize a target at excessive range. Scoped weapons are steadier and have less sway. Gain a chance to reload your weapon twice as fast. Gain a chance. Gain 30 damage resistance while aiming down sights with a heavy weapon. Explosives do 30% more damage and have 30% larger radius. It's pretty standard stuff, isn't it?
Skills as you level up, and then you...
Ballistic weapons do 10% more damage. Ballistic weapons do 20% more damage. Ballistic weapons do 30% more damage. If this was WoW, we'd be shitting on it, let's be real. If this was a WoW talent tree, we would be fucking shitting on it.
Rank those skills up by using them and completing challenges. And there's deep crafting systems, from running research projects with the resources you find, to crafting weapon mods needed to survive.
So far, my biggest takeaway is how boring the UI is. It's like I'm genuinely disappointed with the aesthetic style of this game, and that goes from the UI right through to the most of the environments that I've seen so far. I'm probably being a bit unfair, but this could be any game.
And you can build your own outposts.
Of course.
These act as a home away from home for survival and resource generation.
I've already got my own one, 50.
You can choose where and how to build each one, and you can hire characters you meet to keep it up and running. But that's not all. You can even build your own spaceships.
Did it have to look anything like that? This is by far the coolest feature so far.
You can choose crew members.
Yes.
And yes, you can completely customize the look and layout. There's loads of different modules, ship manufacturers, and more. I have to say, it's so cool. We just absolutely love this. It's not just how the ship looks, it's how it performs, from engines to shields to weapons.
This is very cool.
You can even build your own spaceships.
The inside of the ship looks fine. It looks like Mass Effect inside the ship, which is really good. Yeah, I'm going to really enjoy this. This is going to be fantastic. The ships are fugly as fuck. I can see what they're going for. I can absolutely see what they're going for. I wish there was,
you can choose crew members.
Maybe there will be other options as well, but...
And yes, you can completely customize
the style of the game, I'm just not in love with, honestly.
There's loads of different...
I love the flying brick look, but not when it's your only option.
Modules, ship manufacturers, and more. I have to say, it's so cool. We just absolutely love this.
It's cool.
It's not just how the ship looks, it's how it performs, from engines to shields to weapon systems, because yes, you can fly it.
Good. You fucking useless little ones. That was such a fucking weird, that was such a fucking weird reveal. Yeah, guys, guess what? You can build your own spaceship. It's fully customizable. Hire your crew. But not only that, you can fly it. It's like you're going around the universe, you're fighting pirates, you pick up guns from crates, you'll have loads of guns in your arsenal by the time the game comes to an end, and guess what, people? You can shoot them. Oh yeah, you don't just customize your guns, you can shoot them as well. Alright. Mm-hmm. Imagine if you couldn't fly it.
You can fly it.
Thrusters boosted.
Oh my god, guys, you can fly it! Guys! Guys! Did you know? You can fly it to places? In Mass Effect, you can fly a ship. In No Man's Sky, you could. Well, you couldn't build or customize your ship in Mass Effect. It's in any real sense. Oh my god, this is shit. It's hardly anything dangerous, is it? Very few space RPGs have ship flying. Very few space RPGs call themselves an open world space RPG, right? Space RPGs that are open world, you expect space flying. That's a standard thing. So I guess maybe I'm doing this game a disservice by having such high hopes for it. one thing I don't want to do is judge this fucking dogfight system, right? Too much from this random footage. But I've played a lot of space games in my time, and those of you that have also done that will maybe recognize the way this is working. That fucking reticule going off to the side of the circle, disproportionate to how much the ship actually turns, is like, I don't care if it's realistic, it's one of my least favorite ways of spaceship steering in games. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is there anyone that understands what I'm referring to here? You don't? I'm probably not describing it very much. I feel like if you've played lots of dogfighting games and spaceship games where you're flying spaceships and you're in like battle situations and stuff like that, I've got my controller and I move it up and to the left, right? And then this circle in the middle moves up and to the left to about here before the view out here starts to change, and like that's when you start moving direction. So what happens is when you're in a dogfight, say, and say there's someone who's like traveling upwards out of your screen and you're trying to chase them, this circle is like pushed right up here as you're kind of like arching upwards, try to catch up with them. Yeah, you lead on with the aiming reticule before you fully move. Yeah. I mean, realistically, how many people have a joystick? I mean, that's what this is. I think everyone's got one, surely. And I'm not saying we should all be like Elite Dangerous by any means. I'm just saying, like, whenever this system has found its way into a game, it's always made the actual flight and stuff feel very secondary. It's when you're playing a game which is mostly a ground-based game and you're shooting on ground, and then, you know, a special ability happens or something where you get to go up in a ship for a little bit. That's the type of game where the reticule always fucking moves like this. Look, it's going to go up and to the left a fair bit before the ship starts turning. Watch. And you feel like you're dragging this fucking circle all over the place, and it's not having the same kind of impact on your flying that you would want it to. Does that make sense? Still better flying combat than WoW? Yes. I mean, that's definitely true. I guess that's what we should definitely judge it on. I mean, yeah, if all we're judging it on is comparing it to WoW, then it's literally the best space game ever made. Anyway, I just recognized that kind of system, and I just wanted to bring it up. So, unless what it looks like is that it's the system I'm describing, where the reticule goes in one direction and eventually the ship starts following it. But I could be misreading that, and it could be, you know, if people are playing on playing on an Xbox controller, which is a Microsoft game after all, it could be that one is controlling the ship and one is controlling the reticule, and that would be really cool. I would be down with that. That would be fine. But the system as it looks like right now looks like a system which I always find a bit janky and don't love. That's all. That's what I'm saying. I'm probably wrong because you can't really tell from this. I've already talked about it too. Oh, wait, what was that? What's this? Undock. Okay, this is when you dock into a space station, right? Yeah, it looks like refueling or just visiting. So you can get up, board, undock. Okay, yeah, cool. Just docking. I know it's only a little thing. This isn't really a criticism, okay? You can't hear explosions in space. I know, it's just a little... I know. It's dramaturgy, right? I know. But, you know, you can't know.
We We can't wait for all of you to experience
Silent video games were the future. Well, it wouldn't be silent because you'd hear the sounds inside your cockpit, right? Yeah, you can hear the debris wave hit. Yeah, exactly. I would like, instead of having like some pretend noises outside that don't exist, I think there's genuinely scope for having a very interesting sound scape where you just hear what you would hear inside the cockpit, for sure. I think no game really does that, and I think it'd be really interesting. Movies have ruined us, man.
the game. Thanks again for being with us today, and thanks for all the support you've given us over the decades, especially on this game. It's been an incredible journey for us making it, but we know that's really only the beginning, for it's when all of you play it that the real journey begins. And you may be wondering, just how big is this game? So we thought we'd take one last moment and show you. Let's take a look at one of our planets, Jemison. You can land into Atlantis, but you can also land and explore anywhere on the planet. And it's not just this planet, it's all the planets in the system. From barren but resource-heavy ice balls to Goldilocks planets with life. And not just this system, but over 100 systems. Over 1,000 planets, all open for you to explore. We can't wait to see what you find.
Feel like we haven't learned some lessons there. I feel like we haven't learned some lessons. Look, okay, I just finished playing Elden Ring, right? And Elden Ring it feels when you're playing it like impossibly large. You know, once you played through it once or twice, it doesn't feel so large, and you know your way around it quite easily, actually. But I still get surprised by new stuff in Elden Ring, in like my third and fourth playthroughs even. I feel like I've learned from that you can have worlds that are huge and massive, and also feel incredibly handcrafted. Like, I'm certain there is some procedural generation happening in at least some of the dungeons in Elden Ring, right? But it feels handcrafted, that entire world, and it feels all the better for it. So, you know, I'm not going to assume that just because this universe and this game is huge, that it's going to feel procedural and boring and empty, but it's definitely a risk. Wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle, that's the Bethesda way. So the reason this doesn't really feel like a Bethesda game is because of how it looks. I don't like the aesthetic style. It doesn't grab me. It looks like a cross between Mass Effect and No Man's Sky, but like washed out for no reason. And I thought we were in the realms of like games being very colorful and in your face at the moment, which I love. But also because it's the Shadowlands problem, right? It's the Shadowlands problem. The problem with these planets is they're all disconnected. You go into Skyrim or Fallout or Oblivion, and that bit at the end of the tutorial where the world just opens up and you feel like you can walk anywhere and explore anything because you can, right? It's not the same when there's 1,000 planets that you have to go to individually. I know that's half the fun with the space thing. You get in your spaceship, pirates attack you, you have a fight and shit like that. It's like, where we? But it loses an important part of Bethesda magic in that for me. Like, how else are you going to do a space exploration game, right? It's inevitable. We've learned from Shadowlands, and this happened in No Man's Sky as well, right? That you had a disconnect. Because no planet is actually as big or interesting as a real planet, right? There's going to be no planet in this game obviously, that is as big as Earth, or as interesting and as varied and has as much going on as Earth, or even a representation of that. This is going to be wastelands, essentially, of various different types, populated by settlements, right? And some of those settlements will be really impressive. I don't know. It looks a bit empty to me. The best thing about any Bethesda game is finding settlements and towns, and the idea that there's something going on there, right? I'm not seeing much of that here. I'm just going to join the pirates and see what happens. Yeah. I've got to say, I'm not grabbed. It feels like it's hitting all of the notes of a space game. I can't see how it's doing anything particularly well or revolutionary. Yeah, everything you're telling me about the game sounds really good. None of it feels unique. It's all going to be down to the population of the game, and I can guarantee you there's going to be some live service bullshit in this game. I can fucking guarantee you there is going to be some live service bullshit in this game. Like hardcore. And I like a bit of live service bullshit, but not when it gets in the way of my single player RPGs. There is no way that they are going to limit themselves with like a store. Like a cosmetic store. They're going to want GTA, right? They're going to want a GTA Online thing. That's what they want. That's why they did Fallout 76. And look, this could be good, right? I'm not saying this would be bad. They are going to populate the world with other players. And he said, you know, this game won't come alive until you start playing it. Starfield supports mods, no cosmetic store needed. Well, I didn't say they needed it. If you think Todd is going to turn his back on all that, sure. I'm not even saying this is a bad thing, but I'm certain the reason there's 1,000 planets and the reason they all look pretty fucking empty right now is because we are talking about players building their settlements, which is a thing, and their ships, and creating like a living world there. And that could be really cool. That could be really, really good. I'm certain that's what they're going to do. I'm certain that's the reason there's so many planets. It seems like a natural thing to do, right? You've got all these empty planets. Let's get 13 million players and let's populate those planets, right? Let's let players, like he says, make your own stories. They haven't announced any multiplayer that I'm aware of. I don't care. I still think it's going to happen. I'm certain it's going to happen. And look, man, I'll eat shit if I'm wrong. But I would be very surprised if that isn't the thinking behind having all these different planets and like base building and shipbuilding and all that being a major thing, and resource collecting. The story looks boring. So there was some nice... So that looks... You know, your cyberpunk thing looked all right. That looked okay. Most of the interiors look pretty uninspiring to me. But, you know, it's early days. I don't want to judge it too harshly. But I'm not... Like, Dinosaur looked good. I like the dinosaur. That looked cool. On like the dinosaur planet. They confirmed modding for all the planets. Holy shit. I think if there was something as big as multiplayer, they would have mentioned it. Maybe. I don't know. I find it impossible to think that they won't have a version of this, at least, which is equivalent to GTA Live. And the thing is, like, the character choice and stuff, if it's... And just judging by other Bethesda games, which I think is fair, the character choice in those games has been basically non-existent in terms of the decisions that your character makes. The joy of Bethesda games is when the world lives itself. It never ever comes from in-game character choices. Like the joy of Skyrim or Oblivion or Fallout has always been where you go into some fucking settlement or something and some monster's following you by mistake or something, and like everyone in the town starts attacking the monster, but they all get fucking killed. Yeah, finding really crazy shit that happened without you, that the game has just like played out. You know, you come across like a huge monster just eating half the people that you need to talk to in the town. You're like, oh shit. Stuff that is essentially bugs. As long as the story of interacting with the factions is good, like Fallout New Vegas developed, I don't think it'll be like Fallout New Vegas. It's gonna be like the factions in Fallout 4, isn't it? The way that you interact with the Brotherhood of Steel and stuff like that. That's what I imagine. But who knows? Like, if there's some interviews I haven't seen that go into it, I'm not sure. That that's where the joy comes from, for me at least, in Bethesda games, and that genuine real feeling of being in a living, breathing place comes from, is that accidental stuff and the way that the physics and the game engine is set up to allow that accidental stuff to happen. The actual scripted stuff, I don't find much enjoyment in the character creation or RPG elements in that. Like, there's been much cleverer people talking about games like Fallout 4 and 3 than me as to why a lot of the morality systems and stuff are laughable and surface deep and stuff, so I don't need to go into that, you know. You can easily find videos online talking about that kind of stuff. Yeah, New Vegas isn't Bethesda, though. Like, very famously, like, New Vegas set out to be an old school Fallout game which didn't stick to the Bethesda model. And yeah, New Vegas is great. But then there's a New Vegas space game anyway, right? Outer Worlds, isn't it? That game exists. It's already there. It's good. It's fine. Yeah, it's good. They probably bit off a little bit more than they could handle with that game, if we're honest. Yeah. But it's a good game. It's really fun. I don't think there's going to be much Outer Worlds in this game, put it that way. My worry is that this game isn't going to be Bethesda enough, and it's going to lose those magical things that I love about Bethesda games, that feeling of being in a living, breathing place that kind of happens around you, whether you're there or not, sort of thing. Because when you've got 1,000 planets, you have to curate people through it a little bit more, right? If there's a story that's running through it, there's going to be a curation element that doesn't really exist in other games. And I feel like that's going to deplete the things that I find a bit magical about Bethesda games. Interesting that you can't fly in and out of planets, but I thought you could. I thought it was like No Man's Sky, where it's all like essentially seamless and you fly in. Loading screen, I think, rather than like No Man's Sky. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, that's a real shame. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That makes it feel less Bethesda-y as well, doesn't it, really? Bethesda are the ones that really kind of captured, more than any other games at the time, the whole, you see that mountain over there, you can walk to it thing. No loading screen. Go. They said the dev time for the feature wasn't worth it compared to the payoff. Fair. I get it. I don't know, man. I think it's a pretty big payoff, personally. It feels awesome in No Man's Sky when you do that. It feels awesome in Outer Wilds when you do that. He did make it sound like you could land anywhere, which is pretty cool. But then, I don't know, maybe you start off high in the sky above the area that you select, and then you can land it anywhere sort of thing. That would still be pretty cool. Like, once you're in the atmosphere of the planet, you're just like up at the top of the skybox and you're coming down sort of thing. So there is like specifics of where you land. The flight mechanics in Outer Wilds were incredible. Yeah, well, that whole game is incredible. Honestly, the best space exploration game I've ever played. It's tiny. It's not a huge game, but it's amazing. Gets it completely right. I bet you're right, landing spots. Yeah, no, I think that's what it'll be. You'll choose like the area where you want to land on the planet, and then you'll be like in the top of the sky. You'll load into the skybox and you'll land manually. That's what I bet it'll be. And that'll be cool. I'll be down with that. Just not quite as satisfying for an exploration game as the seamless thing, which loads of games have. I mean, like, you know, No Man's Sky and Outer Wilds do that. Note, earlier Tally mentioned Outer Worlds, now we're talking about Outer Wilds. Yeah, Outer Worlds is fine. It's a good game. I like it a lot. Not as much as I like Fallout New Vegas, but I like it a lot. And Outer Wilds is probably one of the best games ever made. I feel like a lot of people who've played that game would put it in their top 10. And like, I feel like I'm exploring space in that game, even though it's not very big. Certainly not 1,000 planets. I feel like Outer Wilds captures what a lot of people want from space games, but because it's not like a major AAA title, people don't play it. I don't know what it is about this environment that makes me feel a little bit sick. Not in like, that environment, but just like, it kind of sucks out all life and excitement from me, this environment, for some reason. I can't explain it. I can't eloquate it, but I'm just like, oh, that's a really cool world, isn't it? I think it definitely is the same engine, right? Have we had any like confirmation on this? Every time it goes into someone's face or something for them to talk, it looks like the same old fucking Bethesda engine, right? Has this been confirmed, or am I definitely wrong? Okay, here we go. Starfield is built in Creation Engine 2, a modified and updated form of the Creation Engine that was used for Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Fallout 76. Reportedly, Elder Scrolls 6 will also use Creation Engine 2. Okay, looks a lot like fucking Creation Engine 1 to me, that's all I'm saying. And look, man, I've had some of my best gameplay experiences in Fallout 4 and Fallout 3, and Oblivion in particular, and Skyrim, like, genuinely. But yes, this looks very much like it. So this walking around the planet stuff didn't look great to me. Like, this was their opening, and I found this in particular very uninspiring. This did not grab me, I have to say. Like, this grey, boring moon. As long as modding exists, it'll eventually be good. Yeah, and modding is going to make it wonderful. Modding is going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing for this game, I'd imagine, right? They're going to fucking allow the players to make it good like they do everything, right? But then I also think there's no way that they're not going to have, like, an online version as well, like GTA. I just don't see Todd leaving that money there, right? And I think, genuinely, an online version of this could be amazing and brilliant, but that is going to kind of curtail the mod scene as well. But then why not both? An online version and an offline version. And obviously the offline version you can mod. Best of both worlds, right? They don't make as much money out of the offline version though. This is likely still a tutorial. Oh yeah, for sure. It's also the bit that they've chosen to, like, show the world its first glimpse of this game, right? Like, they decided to show us this. Not I didn't say, hey, let's start the tutorial. This is the bit that they decided to show to see how awesome their game is, right? And it really did not grab me. And even if the entire game ends up just being a basic framework that other players make good, because it's Bethesda, there'll be plenty of players to do that. And it could end up amazing, honestly. The basic framework doesn't look great to me, though. What's the worst possible way they could monetize this? Well, I mean, what they'll do is they'll have game passes to the online version. Or they'll charge for servers and things like that. So I don't think it'll be, like, outrageous by any means. What they're doing here is they're clearly building a world for people to play in and hope that, like they have done with the worlds they've given them before, you're expecting the player base to put in a lot of work to add cool shit in, right? They could make people pay $110,000 to have a chance to buy a planet. I don't think that'll happen. Hopefully it's not the same train wreck of Fallout 76. Yeah, it's fucking terrible, right? It's Fallout 76. But I know a lot of people that play that game and really like it. Once all the unplayableness was ironed out. Yeah, and now it's functional. I know a lot of people that really like it. Because it's what a lot of people want, right? Oh yeah, no, I'm not making excuses for them. They were fucking terrible. And the bugs were unforgivable and outrageous. And the kind of technical issues they had, it was just not okay on any level, right? And the monetization was fucking disgusting as well. Yeah, there's clearly potential there. I feel pretty uninspired right now, I've got to be honest. Which I was not expecting. Like, you saw me at the beginning of this stream. I came into this, like, completely fucking hyped. I came into this so hyped. And maybe that's my fault. Maybe I came into it too hyped. But I was just going by what people were saying online, right? That wasn't even from my own expectations. My own expectations have been shaped by things I'd seen on Twitter. There's every potential for this to be really good. At the moment, it doesn't look Bethesda-y enough for me, which I know a lot of people will count as a good thing, and fair enough, but I would count that as a bad thing. The thing that would make this game stand out is the Bethesda stuff that isn't apparently in there at the moment, right? So we've got No Man's Sky, we've got Elite Dangerous. Someday, one day, in the far distant future, we're going to have Star Citizen, and the thing that Bethesda has got that those games haven't got is Bethesda stuff. And it just feels like they've purposely squeezed a lot of that Bethesda stuff out for this. In the kind of the 15 minutes that I've seen, right? The main story, or what appears to be the main story of hunting down artifacts from a super advanced, long-lost civilization, it makes my dick fall off with boredom, honestly. But, you know, maybe it'll be good. Okay. Not super happy, but, I mean, a lot of potential, a lot of scope, certainly. Certainly a lot of scope.